Hello and welcome back to ParticularPixels. I'm Xiaoling, and in this quick video we're going to be taking a look at the PC port of the recently released Vanquish, which I think a few hours ago was released on Steam. I thought I'd put this video up for those of you who are sitting on the fence about the game and wondering what the performance is like and what sort of PC options the game has. Also, I do want to say I never got to play the original Vanquish when it came out on PlayStation, I believe, so I was pretty excited about getting this game on PC. I managed to play through the tutorial as well as the first section of the first level. I played it through at 1080p, 1440p and 4K as well, just so I could see what kind of performance difference there was on my PC. But before we do that, let's head into the options just to see what we have here. Of course, there are difficulty settings. You can see it's grayed out at the moment. I'm assuming that I'm going to have to finish the game on normal before that becomes available. If you are using a controller, you can see you have two different controller presets to use. One thing I want to say though is if you go into mouse and keyboard mode and then you go into the screen, the controller options are all going to be grayed out. Going back into the main menu title screen and coming back in here, for me at least, they still remain grayed out. I had to restart the game. So I'm currently using a controller just to navigate through this menu so I can actually show you the controller options. Moving down to mouse and keyboard, again you can see we have mouse sensitivities for walking, for shooting, and as well as aiming down sights, which I thought was pretty cool. Not really aiming down sights, but zooming in a little bit. Also, you can see we have key bindings that can be changed for all the keys, and you also have secondary key bindings for all of the keys, and I think that's really nice indeed. A nice PC feature to have. Moving back, vibration, again if you're using a controller, audio volume, everything you'd expect to find, music, sound effects and dialogue volume. You can invert your controller or your mouse and keyboard as well as horizontal invert. I'm not sure who plays with horizontal inverted. If any of you guys do, let me know, because that must be quite a strange experience. I don't think that's something I've ever done in any game. And then of course we have camera speed, which changes the camera speed setting for the 3 different camera modes in the game. And you can see you have settings for all of those: score, subtitles, comm messages, and brightness level. And of course, heading to the most important settings, the graphics options. At the top there you can see my video memory usage. I've got the game maxed out on the highest possible detail settings that I could find. You have a number of different resolutions here, so you can pick. What I do want to say though is that the game doesn't really support non 16:9 resolutions. At least the game UI and stuff was designed around a 16:9 resolution. If you do have an ultra wide resolution or something like that, you may have black bars on the top and bottom or on the left and right. But there is a way to fix this by putting a command line into the Steam launcher, which is unlockaspectratio. I'll put this information in the text box below for those of you who do want to try that. Heading to the display mode, of course we've got full screen, windowed mode and borderless windowed mode, which is nice to see. It's better than some proper PC releases even actually. Okay, moving to graphics quality, we can see we have low, normal and high and custom. I've currently got mine on custom. There's 2x, 4x and 8x edge anti-aliasing as well as FXAA. I've chosen to go with edge anti-aliasing because, you know, FXAA seems to generally blur everything on your screen. Texture quality is as high as it goes. Texture filtering is 16 times anisotropic. Shadow quality, screen space ambient occlusion on high, HDR, LOD, motion blur and VSync I have is off. You can also change your refresh rate here depending on what kind of screen you have. And that's pretty much everything for the options that are available in the game. The one thing that you might notice is missing here is an FOV slider or FOV setting of any kind. The game defaults to 80 as the FOV, but it is possible to change it all the way down to 40 and raise it all the way up to 120. But not within the game. You have to do the same thing as with unsupported aspect ratios. You'll have to put a command line in Steam, which I'll put the information in the text box below. So you can change it up. They do warn though that if you change the FOV higher than 80, some errors may occur since the game wasn't designed with that FOV in mind. The other thing I want to say also is that the game does not support SLI or crossfire. So if you are using 2 cards and you're having problems, it might be a good idea to disable one of your cards. And if you are wondering why both of your cards aren't working, because, well, the game doesn't support SLI. There's also no native support for direct input controllers, so older gamepads might have a problem detecting. However, apparently if you are using an Xbox 360 controller or something similar, they are supported, and Steam controllers are supported as well. Cutscenes also are pre-rendered video, so they might be noticeably low resolution than your game settings, obviously depending on what game settings you're playing on, and also a lower frame rate than the in-game visuals. So that's pretty much everything from the graphics options standpoint. What I'll do, I think I'll switch now to the recorded footage. I'll put the 1080p, the 1440p, and the 4K footage up. I think I have fraps running. Hopefully I've recorded correctly so you guys can see the difference in performance. What I want to say though is with my 1080, running on 1440p seems to be the best frame rate and quality combination. 1080p of course runs even better, but my frame rates are higher than 140, which is pointless since my monitor is only 144 Hertz anyway. But running at 4K, the frame rate sits around about 75, and I've had it drop below 60 when there's a lot of stuff on the screen and explosions and everything going on. So that is something to keep in mind. If you don't have a GTX 1080 or some high-end graphics card, and even if you do, you probably aren't going to maintain 60 all of the time, and I would imagine there are going to be bigger set pieces than the starting level of the game with more enemies and more explosions going on at the same time. So yeah, if you're wanting to maintain over 60, I'd recommend playing at 1440p, I suppose, unless you have a GTX 1080 Ti. Then maybe you'll be able to maintain over 60 at 4K. But so far, everything seems fine. I haven't had any crashes or anything like that. The controls seem responsive. The game runs very smoothly. And I look forward to getting into it. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about anything that I've said, you, as usual, can let me know in the comment section below. And again, I'll put those command lines in the text box below. You need to paste them in the Steam launcher window when you launch the game. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was a little bit helpful. I've been Charling, and I'll see you guys next time.